All right, Roland.
Dave, tell me a bit about your background and your areas of interest.
Okay, my background is fairly extensive and fairly broad. I started in IT I first wrote a computer program in 1968. So I've got a few years of working with systems and data under my belt. Spent about 35 years as an IT guy and then shifted and took a job running a line of business. And that was kind of some new insights in how we use data, how we use systems, and a different perspective on it when I was the consumer instead of the provider. I've been IT director, I've been a manager of a line of business. Mostly I'm interested in learning and educating, and I find that the two work really well together. When I teach, I learn, and that helps me to become a better teacher. I'm interested in data, in systems, in business, and really interested in how the three of them converge to make a difference in what we do. I love it as a field because there's something new every week. And however many years I've been doing this, I've never been bored a day in my life.
Fantastic. Part of your teaching is you recently developed a new course for TDWY, or under your brand, on data warehouse automation. Tell us a little bit about what automation is and what drove you to want to, and the market impetus for maybe a class like that.
Okay, the idea with data warehouse automation is that data warehouses are hard to build. They take a lot of time, it's difficult to get the requirements right, it's labor intensive, and by the time we get them built and deployed, they're obsolete, or the requirements have changed, or the source data has changed, and we need to do it all again. The reason for building the class is that there are some good data warehouse automation tools out there, but it's a little known space. It's almost a well-kept secret. So we need to help make the world aware the data warehouse automation is out there, and it doesn't make sense to spend your resources, your talent, and your time on those things that can be readily automated. It really all comes down to the question in today's world where everything is analytics driven, how do you do fast analytics with a slow data warehouse? And data warehouse automation is certainly one of the really powerful answers to that. We simply need to get the word out and have people understand what data warehouse automation is, how they can use it, and how it can make a difference for them.
Thank you. A lot of folks have sort of tied data warehouse automation to the whole idea of agility in development, whether that's requirements gathering, changing, extending. You agree with that? Can you talk to that?
I agree with that. I think everybody wants to go agile. Agile is a hot topic. It's almost as big a buzzword as big data. Everybody wants agile, and agile software development is relatively easy compared to agile data warehousing and agile BI. Software development is simply about collaboration with users to produce a software product and roll it out, and it's rolled out and it's done. Data warehousing and business intelligence are iterative, ongoing. You only get to deploy once. After you deploy, everything else you build needs to be integrated into that which has already been deployed. So it's a harder problem from that respect. The requirements are more elusive. The business collaboration is harder. So to really get Agile BI, I think we need three things. We need data warehouse automation so that we can get fast data to serve the analytics. We need data virtualization so that we can explore in the data without the overhead of building database schema. And we need cloud for two reasons. One is cloud because every time we do something new in warehousing and BI, it shakes up our infrastructure, and we can't constantly be going back and rebuilding the infrastructure, so we need cloud for that. We also need cloud on the analytics as a service end so that we're not handcrafting those analytics that are rebuilding the same wheel over and over and over again.
Excellent. Is automation more appropriate for larger or smaller organizations, or does it play across?
I think it plays across all of them. I think it's more easily...
Sorry, it's just a battery.
Okay.
We'll start over. Data warehouse automation, as you've described it, beneficial to large, small organizations, or both?
I think it's appropriate to both. I think it's more quickly and readily adapted in smaller organizations because there's less of the way we've always done it to be overcome. I think smaller organizations tend to be more agile-oriented anyway. I think it's easier for smaller organizations to get the business collaboration to happen that's necessary for requirements discovery. But in a large organization, I think instead of trying to deploy it everywhere all at once, you start with a small project or a small business need, and you build successes, and you evolve your culture from being one of handcrafting to one of automated data warehousing.
Fantastic. Wordscape would like to bring your data warehouse automation course to several of its international areas. So talking directly to somebody who might sign up for the data warehouse automation course that you potentially would teach for us over there, invite them, tell them why they should, what they'll get out of coming and spending a day with us.
The first thing you'll get is an understanding of what data warehouse automation is. And it's more than just automating the ETL generation or automating the build. It's automating the requirements gathering, it's automating the data discovery, it's automating the requirements iteration, it's automating the schema generation, it's automating the ETL build, it's automating the testing and the deployment, the documentation, and the change management. So you get a full understanding of automating the full data warehouse lifecycle. You get some understanding of what it takes to get started with automation. You get some exploration of the various ways that you can apply automation and what some of the use cases are. And you get the opportunity to see how automation will fit into your particular environment, your particular architecture and culture, and how you might need to adapt practices to make automation fit. You get a good understanding of the business benefits of data warehouse automation. You get a good understanding of the technical benefits of data warehouse automation.
Fantastic. Most obvious, is there obvious use cases for automation, or does that also, similar to large and small, it really is the gamut?
Yeah, there are many use cases for automation. Probably the most obvious is in building a new data warehouse, but very few of us get to do that because we're already in the data warehousing game. There are use cases for bringing new data warehouse or new data sources into an existing data warehouse. There are use cases for migrating an existing data warehouse from one platform to another. There are use cases for spinning dependent data marts off from an existing data warehouse. There are certainly use cases if you're trying now to bring big data into your structured data warehouse world, and big data is fraught with challenges for understanding the requirements and understanding the data and trying to get row column structured views of data that comes to us in unstructured forms. That requires a lot of exploration, a lot of iteration, and to do that exploration and iteration with handcrafting is labor intensive, time consuming, almost to the point where it's impractical. Where if you can automate it, if you can use a mix of data warehouse automation tools and data virtualization tools to begin to migrate big data into your existing structured data warehouse world, you accelerate the process tremendously and you eliminate a huge number of false starts.
Fantastic. And then in closing, I know you've started a new seminar/group, the Business Analytics Consortium, and correct me if I'm wrong on the name, but what's the impetus behind forming it, and what are your designs, and what are you trying to contribute to the industry?
Okay, the organization is the Business Analytics Collaborative. You can find it at bacollaborative.com. The goal is to build a community of business analytics practitioners. And the problem with the business analytics community as it exists today, and I'm using the term community loosely now, is that it's not really a community. It's tremendously fragmented. We have fragmentation in practitioners, everything from data scientists to what Stephen McDaniel calls the accidental analyst, the business manager doing analysis in Excel simply because they have to, many shades of gray in between there. It's fragmented by industry. Healthcare analytics is different than retail analytics, is different than financial analytics. It's fragmented functionally. Marketing analytics, customer analytics, risk analytics, and so on. So we have all these pockets of analytic expertise and very little crosstalk and very little sharing between them. And there's lots of opportunity for crosstalk and sharing and learning. So my singular objective in this thing is just to bond these little pockets of skill into a community that can make that crosstalk happen and that can advance the practice of analytics for all of us.
Fantastic. Anything else you'd like on camera?
No, I think we're good.
I think we're damn good.
Absolutely. So what we've been doing is, I like to kind of get sort of a video portrait, something, you know, kind of look in the camera and turn and cross your arms. So just get this out of your way real quick. And actually, we'll go ahead and have you stand, and I can move the chair out of the way.
I can get that for you, Gary.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's nice to see some good gear. I was just having a conversation with Yvonne complaining about the quality of photographs that Roddy's getting down there. I told her at a future conference, I'll let him take my Nikon D600 and
Right on.
with a good
Absolutely.
lens.
We'll bring this guy along a little bit to help out too. You guys are all